I'll take you back to about a year ago when this letter went out, and sort of explain some of the things that Senator Rockefeller and some of the other signatories on this letter were looking at. So as the chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee and, or I should say former chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee and the current chairman of the Senate Commerce Committee, Senator Rockefeller had been extremely concerned about what's happening in cybersecurity, all the intellectual property losses, data breaches, things like that have been going on for a number of years, the issues surrounding critical infrastructure and the security issues related to SCADA systems and control systems and things like that. So Senator Rockefeller started an investigation to try to figure out what were companies doing to protect certain systems and assets that they owned. And it may be useful just to think about things this way. So, there are a bunch of different state data breach laws out there. This involves the protection of personally identifiable information, credit card information, things like that are protected under the payment card industry data security standards. We have HIPAA, right, and that protects healthcare information. But what are the obligations for a company to protect what makes the company special? The business secrets, the intellectual property, the trade secrets, the transactional information. Those are the things that are being stolen every day to the tune of the $1 trillion in losses that global companies have experienced over the last year. That was the question that we were trying to answer, because what we were hearing in a classified environment is that companies were losing millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of intellectual property and trade secrets every day. In fact, a report that came out in October by the National Counterintelligence Executive suggested that you could measure the amount of losses that businesses suffer here in the United States by the amount of money that businesses invest in research and development every year. And that was estimated to be $380 billion that US companies invest in intellectual property and trade secrets for research and development. Our government is estimating that all of that stuff is gone. We've lost it all. The question is, where does it go, and who has it, and how is it reverse engineered? Those are the things that that the intelligence community is working on. But make no mistake about it, that a lot of this stuff is gone. And so those are the problems that we're facing in cyberspace today. The investigation focused on two key elements of notification that publicly traded companies have to tell their investors. It's all based on this law of materiality. So publicly traded companies are required to disclose material information to their investors. And we're talking about two different kinds of material information. There's material risk, and that is, I use information technology and therefore I'm at risk because I use information technology. You'll see those material risks being disclosed in the risk factors section of your 10Ks, 10Qs, and 8Qs. The other thing that is not disclosed, and these are the things that happen every day, every minute of every day, and they're happening right now as we speak, are material events. And these are the losses of intellectual property, business secrets, trade secrets, transactional information that make the companies what they are. It's the pharmaceutical formulas, it's the next generation research and development designs and blueprints. Those are the things that are being stolen, and those are the things that are not being disclosed today to investors. So we performed this investigation and found a couple of things. First of all, risks and events, this is just sort of a very generic finding. Risks and events are not being properly reported, even though this is a historical requirement based on the 1934 Securities and Exchange Act, which requires the disclosure of material information. A lot of companies were not disclosing material information as it pertains to cybersecurity risks and events. So the second piece is that 40% of companies are not even reporting risks. If any company uses information technology today, they have to have a cyber risk. It's just sort of a part of doing business. The fact that I use information technology means that I'm putting my business at risk. Now, you could have mitigating aspects, mitigating efforts in place to help reduce the impact of bad things that could happen as a result of that. But the fact that you use information technology means that you're at risk. 40% of companies don't even disclose that on their 10Ks, 10Qs, and 8Ks. And so the call from Senators Rockefeller, et cetera, was for the SEC to issue interpretive guidance. What actually happened was the SEC several months later issued this topic number 2, cybersecurity, which Rick is going to talk a little bit about to provide more of the details.